do stuff with my microphone, it like will fuck with the properties.
Yeah.
Nope, it's at the same level it was before. So let me just listen. This is John talking quick just to get levels again for the second time. Matt, do you want to go?
This is Matt getting levels again for the second time for the first time.
All right, and to DJ?
Yeah, that's me. I'm doing this thing.
Okay. All right, to DJ?
I have successfully tweeted a tweet.
Tweet a little tweet with me. TJ, can you talk again?
Yeah, I'm speaking. Looks like normal.
Normal blormal.
Perfect. All right, I think our levels sound good. Matt, can you talk one more time, just to verify?
Hey, I'm talking again. This is your boy, Matt. How's it going, fam?
Yeah, I think we sound good, so let's do this shizwaz.
Let's do this.
Y'all ready for this?
Da 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 da. Welcome to Born in the 80s, Matt Hag edition.
All right, here we go.
I'm your king of the world, Matt Hag.
I've got it.
Okay.
Welcome to Born in the 80s. My name is John Dangerho, and I'm a leprechaun.
Did you say John Danger Ho?
I'm not racist. I'm a leprechaun. Can we have other ethnicities versions of leprechauns so that I can do other accents and not be racist?
First, TJ needs to introduce himself.
Oh, TJ May.
And
hey, TJ.
Also, no, I'm not going to let you bait me into doing accents.
Matt, do an accent.
No.
Matt, are you saying
I thought that
the liberal media that all accents are racist?
Here's the thing. I thought that sweet Sonic the Hedgehog character was just good fun. But then you had to go and tell me it was racist. And you ruined that meme for me.
Why is Sonic racist?
The Ugandan Knuckles thing.
Oh.
I was just like, oh,
that's
this
Knuckles.
is a funny thing.
Yeah, the worst part is that, like, that's, like, really, like, become, like, a racist, like, rallying cry.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Why does the internet have to ruin everything?
Oh, I know. They do. Not like a rallying cry, because it's not like a cry. It's just a, you know, a thing.
Oh. Well, we started this episode off well.
Yeah, you know, we just got a little bit of that. Oh, the Spark Digital, Matt.
John's still microphone shopping.
The Yeti Caster is 200.
And I'm keeping an eye on my beautiful face to see, like, my new camera settings are working out or not. So it's going to be a good show.
I will mention one thing before I'm done.
Okay.
The blue microphones, right?
Yes.
Makes very good microphones. Like, they just sound good.
They make pretty okay microphones. They're good for, like, talking.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to record something for, like, a video or a game or even, like, basic vocals for things. Like,
I wouldn't
not
use
any
them
sort of instrument, really, but just talking, you know, and singing. It's going to be good. And the Yeti Caster comes with a nice adjustable arm stand and a shock mount. So it's basically literally everything you need to do to record for $200 and probably way cheaper on Amazon. Probably like closer to like 160 if you can find it on a deal. So that's a pretty dang good deal. And that's what I'm saying, Matt, is that oftentimes when you're in the podcasting community and talking community, everyone's like, well, you need this $700 microphone. That's what they use in like the recording studios that NPR has. It's like, no, you
Try
do not.
multiplying that by a factor of 10.
Yeah, that's
their
true.
mics
like
are
those
$8,000.
Those Newman mics are like like thousands and thousands. I was thinking more of the mics that they have at like the student radio in Madison. Those are like the cheaper Newmans that are like $1,500. You know, that's the cheap ones, and they sound amazing. Like, but our microphones aren't great, but that's not why people listen. You just have to not actively sound bad.
For our great commentary. And for my constantly
Orange Powerade, Breakfast of Champions. Matt, it's so hazy and smoky in your
I'm
room.
working on it. I'm color balancing.
You've
Color
got some,
balancing your room.
he's got some. But you got to get a piece. You got to do the auto white balance and get the white like card up in front so you can get the. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Nobody is watching the video anyway.
That is true.
True enough.
Can I tell people a story about our Discord server, which is available on the. All right. You want to go to HTTPS.
It's a really easy link to follow.
Is that a forward slash or a backslash?
Everyone calls it forward slash.
But
I
it's
just go
backslash,
slashy
right?
slashy.
It's a forward slash because you're leaning forward. If you're reading like
What? That's why?
I
thought you go forward as down is forward slash. I don't know.
Because it's leading forward from like the reading point of view.
Okay.
You're reading
So left to right, it starts forward and goes back. But why wouldn't it start at the top and go back?
I don't know.
Go
I
top
didn't
to bottom.
invent the thing.
All right. Anyway, it's the slash used for websites. Discord.g. I'm sorry. DISCORD.
Okay, slow down. HTTP. And then what after that?
S.
Okay. You've lost
colon. Not the word colon, but the keyboard keystroke colon.
Okay.
Which is a shift semicolon. Okay, so goatsy.cx // discord.gg /x4mnpvz.
Except for the V
this
is
is
small.
what I look like with automatic color balance turned on.
Let me see.
Let's see. How do I look? Like
It looks smoky. Matt, what I want from you is you to go back to that one where it was completely red and it looked like you were in hell. Can you please go back to that? Because that looked great.
I could do this.
You just quickly flipped. Yeah! That's terrible.
Welcome to Born in the 80s. The
you have like
90s
how many
music
pixels
video edition.
on your video? Yeah. Oh my god. Sorry. This is something, again, nobody's going to see because you'd have to go to youtube.com.
You didn't finish spelling out the URL for the other one. They're not going to go for the second one.
$V I or a lowercase l, an uppercase I or a lowercase l, VA, try both, VAQ0 KG -Q0W. I only think this works for the live version, this link that I'm just saying. So
okay.
you have to.
So you're gonna have to find the VOD. Can you edit in the link to the VOD version after the show's done?
You know what you're saying to do this, and I'm not going to do that because that is way too much trouble for a joke that's not very good.
Everybody knows you're high.
Yeah, well, that's Matt with his fucking. He's fucking smoked up in there. Matt hotboxed this whole apartment.
We spent 4.5 minutes on that bit.
I think what you're seeing as smoke and haze is just like soft lighting, which you're not used to. 'Cause you're used
Matt's
to
from
the
Canada
harsh,
now.
harsh lighting.
Sorry, I'm writing down some time marks.
I'm in Canada right now.
Oh, really?
Get high.
Every day is 420 in Canada.
Matt,
with my homies.
Did you know that you don't need to have your passport to get into Canada?
BRB.
I had a friend. One of my parents' friends said that they were recently in Canada on like a trip, and like they were just like, yeah, they forgot their passports, and they were just like, you got your ID, and we know you're a citizen, so you can go. Like, what? I know. So apparently it's not as strict as they bring it. If you have a photo ID, they already have you in like whatever database. They just have to like look you up. And they also can be a jerk to you about it.
Your browser history and all that stuff. They already have that on file.
Yeah, so it's funny too because my father is not allowed to come into the country in an easy way. So I guess he shares the name with someone else who's on a watch list. So every time they see his name, he has to pull over and like get out, and they have to be like, "All right, you're not the guy because your face doesn't match his." So it's just like, wow, that's terrible. Just because some fucking asshole with the same name as you is like doing that. It makes every time you go through any sort of security checkpoint like way worse.
Well, his name is Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, it's true. That is
Bro.
my father's name.
Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, you think that would have stopped after he was killed, but honestly, he wasn't. Hashtag conspiracy.
Where's the body?
Where's the body?
The body, Obama?
Where's the Osama body, Obama? Osama. Speaking of Osama, you do the math.
I think I saw something like a shitty bumper sticker once that said something that implied that they were related because their names sounded similar.
That's one of my favorite.
It's pretty good.
Little meme videos. I don't know if you've seen this. It's a little bit too long to be a Vine, but it's just like a 20-second video. It's of the like $10,000 pyramid, and like the first like thing for someone to like get Tim Meadows to guess, because he's like the celebrity guesser host person in this one, and it says people with the last name Obama, and the guy said paused and thought for a long time and said Bin Laden, and then the video ends. And I was just like, oh my god. Oh, I'll link that video in the Discord, so if you can follow that ridiculous link that I mouth garbaged out just a minute ago.
Can you go over that
you'll see
link
it.
one more time?
Yeah, so the link is discord.gg/x4mnpvz. That's Pirates vs. Zombies at the end.
The V is small, everything else is capital. But that must be the reason why no one bought Odama for the GameCube.
That is. It's because it's Osama bin Laden.
I think it's the name of the game, right?
Probably. If not, it is now.
Yeah, Odama is a game for the GameCube where you're controlling your Japanese soldiers by hitting them with a magical pinball.
I thought it was something about like odometers.
No.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I
gonna
got
be
it right.
constantly fidgeting with camera settings this whole time. I hope
Hey,
that
that's
doesn't
fine.
bother
You'll
me.
eventually hit it, correct, you
Yeah.
know.
So it's a war game with pinball with voice commands.
Really?
Yeah, Odama. Came out in 2006.
Osama bin Laden?
Yep.
How does that? The voice commands are just like, you go over here, kill that
Basically.
person.
Yep.
You- But like, if it's a war game, there's like a shit ton of units.
It was produced and designed by the creator of Seaman for the Dreamcast.
Oh, Seaman?
Seaman.
Yep.
All right. Apparently on YouTube you can't find this particular video because it's just cancer, because like YouTube just doesn't allow anyone to put anything up that's that. So there's a clip from Entertainment Tonight Canada that has the full clip in it. So you can find that on the old Discord, but that's one of my favorite little vids.
Discord. More like Pisscord.
Just so you know, it's the
Oh.
$100,000 pyramid viral Obama moment from like 2 months ago. So anyway, let's stop talking about how terrible YouTube is. Thanks for hosting our show, YouTube.
Hey, YouTube.
But, let's talk about Rip Funi Roll.
No.
Oh wait, hold
TJ.
on. Hold on a second.
No.
Hold on.
What's
hold
going
on.
on?
So I want to get in on this. Thank you.
No, I'm
Right
I'm
on
shedding a
cue.
tear. What's happening?
Well, the Crunchyroll Funimation split is happening. So what happened was, TJ, I'm going to explain. You can blame Sony on this.
What?
Yes. So Sony bought Funimation.
Fucking Sony screwing everything up.
Yes. So
Thank you,
Sony.
When has Sony ever screwed anything up?
Thank you, Sony, for my free PS4.
Yeah. Sony bought Funimation, which meant that Funimation is ending its partnership with Crunchyroll and VRV, colloquially known as
That's how that
Verve.
word goes.
Funimation president Gen Fukunaga sent a memo to employees announcing the company is leaving those streaming platforms as a direct result of Sony's purchase. Now, TJ may know Funimation as a specializer in distributing anime, dubbed
I want
in
my
English,
dubs. I want
including
my dubs.
My Hero Academia and One Piece.
It's fine.
Now-
season 3's done.
So My Hero Academia and One Piece available dubbed. The subbed will always be available on Crunchyroll because that's technically the
Correct.
property of Toho.
Because it's technically correct.
Yep.
Because it is not like Funimation gets the copyright when they do the voice work, and they do a lot of American voice work.
Yep.
So for me, I was like, oh god, no, am I gonna need it? And I'm like, oh wait, I'm a purist and watch subs, so I don't have to deal with this fucking nonsense of American rights holders getting greedy and removing their stuff from things that make everything easier. So the contract they had expires on November 9th, so stuff will be on there for now. And Crunchyroll didn't have a lot of dub content on there, but it had little. You know what I mean? So you get it. Verve had a lot of dub content on it. Because they specifically had, like, Funimation channel on Verve. So now all of the titles that are going to be removed from Crunchyroll and Verve will be on their new streaming service Funimation Now, which I'm sure costs another like $10 a month. So add that to
which isn't actually new. It's
No.
just that's where they'll be exclusively.
Yes. Funimation Now price. How
It
much
should
is
be like $6.99, I think.
$4 million.
Funimation Now is $6.
$5.99. Okay.
And it sounds like the PC Gaming Mag says Funimation Now is the best streaming service that you can get.
Okay. Well, Verve is still
For
okay
anime.
for me. True. But Verve still has Nick Splat, which is something that they've started recently.
Yeah, can you talk about Nick Splat? Because I think that's a pretty neat thing.
Yeah, so Nick Splat is a channel of a bunch of old school Nickelodeon stuff that you can't find almost anywhere else.
Yeah, like what kind
And-
of show?
When we first saw it, we saw that they had things like Cat Dog, Legends of the Hidden Temple,
Oh, shit.
Guts, all that. Clarissa explains it all, but they've expanded since we were looking at it before. They now have Rocket Power, Rocco's Modern Life. They've got, I think they had Doug already, but now they also have Ah Real Monsters. They've added Are You Afraid of the Dark? Figure It Out. Kablam was on there before. Salute Your Shorts is on there now. They've also got the Amanda Show, the Angry Beavers, and the Wild Thornberries, as well as a couple others I missed because I can't talk all day.
Yeah.
But you could.
Yeah, we were watching Legends of the Hidden Temple, though, a lot. and
Man,
that was really fun.
That was so
And Nick
so
Arcade.
cringy. Oh, Nick Arcade. Where
Mhm.
did that go?
Is it not on there now?
Nick Arcade is the best show in the world, and nobody can convince me
They
otherwise.
pulled Nick Arcade.
Really?
I don't see it here anymore.
Oh, wow. You had it for just a sec. So the thing with, like, the Funimation being pulled from... Like, I don't feel like Funimation has a ton of stuff that is...
I should finish
Like-
Fooly Cooley dubbed then before it's gone.
Oh, wait. That's when I do watch dubbed because...
I know you do.
I originally watched it dubbed, so I continue. And I don't know. I'd probably be fine watching it not dubbed, though. But, yeah.
They've got the sub and the dub.
But like the big Funimation Now titles, or the big Funimation dubs are Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball
Yep.
Z Super, One Piece, that's a big one, Cowboy
Fairy Tail.
Bebop, because that was originally Funimation, Attack on Titan,
Hmm.
Fairy Tail, My Hero Academia, which is pretty big, all of the Ghost in the Shells.
Yeah.
The show Adam recommended, Assassination in Classroom, which I still haven't watched, but was recommended on the show previously. I'm trying to find some other stuff, but like a lot of the like craziest stuff isn't necessarily all on here, you know. But they do have a huge back catalog of older anime because kind of they were the only game in town way back when. I mean, there was ADV, which did a lot of anime as well. And
There were a couple others, but they all just died.
Yeah, and like I said with Evangelion, the copyright for that basically just disappeared. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they were just like, "Oh, hey, nobody owns this now because like nobody picked it back up." It's like, ooh, they have a genre just called fan service. So let me get on that.
And it's going to include things like Bikini Warriors and whatnot.
Harukana Receive, which I
Heard of
believe
that,
is a beach volleyball television program.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm going to lose Cardcaptor Sakura.
There is, wow, man, a lot of boobs in anime. A lot of.
There is. There is.
It's weird. Weird.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, I'm going to lose my Danganronpa dubs.
Your Dubgenropa.
Danganronpa.
Oh, XL Saga's on here too.
Yeah,
That's the
Excel
other one
Saga
you
is
like.
good. I have that stuff. Like a lot of this stuff, especially the older stuff I have in DVD that I also have on my computer. So, not a huge deal, but
I guess I could still library. Could still do that.
that's
Plus,
true.
have you tried piracy? It's really fun.
Kind of doing that. Library.
I got a piracy email from Charter for downloading the Friday the 13th series because I guess it's important that somebody still gets paid for that crap.
You know, I haven't gotten one of those in so long.
I haven't actually pirated anything for a while, but then I was like, I'm not gonna buy Friday the 13th. Like, I just want to
Yeah.
watch some shitty schlocky slasher stuff. But turns out Paramount really protecting that.
Yeah. That's so weird when you get stuff like that too. I mean, it's like the copyrights on like classical music and stuff, and you're like, okay, who's pulling this? Is fucking Beethoven getting some credit for this cover?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
old beat oven.
I love that Beethoven. Yeah. So sorry to get back to the Funimation Gajonka. Like we, I don't think it's a huge deal. I guess. I mean, it's gonna affect dubs, but also here's the good kicker, right? TJ, you ready?
Yep.
All right. So there is also High Dive, HIDIVE, another
Okay.
animated streaming channel specializing in dubs, will be joining Verve. So I don't know
Okay.
if there's any particular shows you watch on that streaming service of English dubs.
High
But
Dive might
there
be the one I
are
was
some
looking
new
up.
anime dubs coming to. Coming to. Now I want to
This might-
see like what is in High
This-
Dive.
This might be what I'm thinking of. This might give me Persona 4 dubbed.
Yeah, I was about to
the
say
anime.
because there's some stuff in here as well. So,
Look it up as we speak.
can you just tell me what like the dubs are that are like on your subscription so I can
Yeah.
let my people know?
High Dive has Persona 4
Let my
Yeah, okay.
If they're pulling it.
people know.
because I've been wanting to pull that because it's the only place you can get the English version right now.
Oh, they have Azumanga Daioh?
They got Azumanga?
Yeah.
I need to watch that.
They have Big O. They have some actually. They have a lot of the stuff that I guess, like I was saying, Funimation wasn't doing because back in the day, like anime, and I'm talking older anime, like Azumanga Daioh is from like the early 2000s, I think. So not that old, but old enough, like 10 years old, or like maybe mid 2000s. Like there was Funimation, and then like all these other smaller companies doing dubs. This has Elfen Lied in it as well. But Funimation focused mostly on like the Naruto's and you know what I mean, like the Shonen Jump animes.
Yeah,
And so it's a lot of the other animes were another one. So adding High Dive's pretty cool. That's cool. I've never watched the American dub of Azumanga Daioh, but
Neither have I.
Azumanga Daioh is one of my favorites. They have Magical Shopping Arcade of Benabashi, which is really good.
Load faster. I'm looking at dubs A through Z right now.
They actually have quite a bit of good stuff in here, so that's awesome that they're getting something. They have Razafon, which I don't really like, but I know people like. Rahexon Pun. Soccer Wars TV series. So a lot of older anime that was dubbed. So that's really cool. So
Negima.
stuff.
They
what'd
got
you say?
Negima.
Yeah. So stuff that I watched in like college
Yeah.
is on here. So that's kind of cool. Not quite as big of a library of especially like really popular shows. Like losing Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super dub just kind of sucks because those are pretty big, like classic animes. But you know, you're gaining some interesting stuff. Like I remember I was specifically lamenting I can't find Azumanga Daioh streaming anywhere, but here it is. It's just on this weird ass service I'd never heard of. So get yourself a Verve. I might have to get Verve. TJ.
I don't see Persona 4 now that I'm looking for it.
I don't know, man.
That's the one I found it on the other day.
Well, anyway, oh, they have Food Wars dubs. Yeah, so this has a lot of dubs, and they also apparently have non-dubs, because they have just series. Sorry, this is probably getting into too much detail because I know Matt is is a hashtag anime lover.
Yeah,
but it is a pretty big deal when it comes to like anime though, because like the whole Crunchyroll Funimation sharing of like shows was pretty nice because there was a lot of like it was basically all the anime you could have ever wanted available. Because it was like all of the big names, so like most everything you could have wanted to watch, you could probably find if you had like TJ did Verve.
Persona
you pretty much
5
get
is
everything.
available on Hulu.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, the whole first season. The whole thing is done.
Yeah.
Except there's some after stuff they're gonna do as OVAs.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna spoil that because that ends somewhere John isn't. Because he's been playing the game a little bit here and there. Not in a while, but...
Oh, yeah. Not in a little while, but yeah.
Yeah.
The Persona 5 animes, it's okay. It's not as good as the 4 anime.
Yeah. Which I could watch all the way through, because I know what happens in that.
Yeah. The 4 anime is really good. Highly recommend.
I'm just looking if they have... Oh, they have Sayuki. They have some really, like, classic stuff.
Food Wars.
Sorry?
They've got Food Wars.
Yeah.
I heard that was good.
I'm telling you, they got a lot of random ass stuff that is a little bit older that, you know, wasn't being picked up. So that's
Fate
really
Stay
nice.
Night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could go on for hours looking through this list of animes that I want.
Yeah.
But like, Funimation has like, I think Trigun was Funimation.
I think so.
Yeah, so a lot of the most popular stuff is going to be there, but you know, you can just hold off on getting a subscription until you know the simulcasts are coming for the new season and subscribe for a couple months and then cancel it. But yeah, so that's the little bit of nice news is that you're gonna get a little bit of something back, you know. So, yay! So what have we been all up to?
That's my anime sound.
That's the anime sound. I mean, it does have a character that shows up in an anime.
So I've been playing a game called Serial Cleaner. Have either of you played this game?
No.
Okay.
I've not.
So you're a guy that cleans up after like mob hits and crimes and stuff.
Wait, is this kind of like the gore simulator or whatever it was called?
It's like a top-down game. It's like a top-down stealth game where you show up on a crime scene and there's police patrolling and you have to pick up evidence and bodies without being seen and vacuum up blood. I guess it's probably like a carpet cleaner that you have. But it's
Viscera Cleanup Detail is the game I was thinking of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not quite like that.
Fair enough.
I think. But it's kind of just like a really simple stealth game that's not too hard. And the AI is dumb as a bag of rocks, which I guess is not super unrealistic for like 70s cops based on what I hear from like true crime shows. But it's just like, hey, that guy jumped into a box. He probably doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going around, you're hiding and stuff. You can move things in the environment to like change their patrolling path, and you can sometimes trap them inside of like buildings and stuff, is definitely worth the $0 that I got it for.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like a Twitch Prime game, like however many months ago.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of a neat service that they do.
Yeah, I
Where
have
you can just be
so
like
many
on
Twitch Prime games because I'll always just claim them, even though I
Of
don't
course.
have time to play that.
Why
And
not?
I'll get to them eventually.
They actually just have some really good games. Like particularly, they got the Broken Age, which is pretty well received game. I'm trying to think of the bangers here. Auction Free, Pillars of Eternity, which is a pretty deep RPG. Serial Cleaner, like Matt said, SteamWorld Dig 1 and 2. Soma, Super Hot, Tacoma, the Tales from the Borderlands thing, the Banner Saga 1 and 2. These were all free. Like
Yeah.
if you have Twitch Prime, which is like if you have Amazon Prime. So it's like snap.
And
Now I'm like looking into this again. I need to,
SteamWorld
like,
Dig 2 was another one I got off of there that like, I
Yeah.
really enjoyed. And I enjoyed it enough to buy SteamWorld Dig
Yeah.
1 because that wasn't available, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
Good service.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah. So Serial Cleaner is a recommend.
I would recommend it. It's got
Yeah.
it takes place in the 70s, so it's got some groovy like
I've like
ambient
never heard of this
funk
game.
music.
Which
And
is crazy.
it's a puzzle stealth game that is not too difficult for people like me.
Huh. Well, cool. I'm just looking at game. I'm just watching some gameplay here. I mean, that's always cool. Like the idea of being the cleaner, you know, like the fucking what is it in Pulp Fiction, Mr. Not
Yeah,
Mr.
that's
Clean.
exactly
What is his
wolf.
name? Wolf. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly who you are.
Oh, this does seem really cool. So you have to like clean as much as you can, and then
Yeah.
hide, and then so then
You'll
it's
have
like
there's
nothing
like
ever happened.
specific. You have to pick up all the bodies and evidence, and then you'll have like a percentage of how much blood you're supposed to clean up,
Yeah.
and you can always clean up more and get 100%.
Mhm.
I'm assuming at some point that'll pay off with some kind of achievement.
Yeah. Well, it seems cool. It's got like kind of a risk reward type gameplay where it's like you can see guys coming towards you because it's kind of top down and like.
Yeah,
Gotta
and you have
hide
this
or-
mode where you can like zoom out to see the whole level,
Okay.
so you can see everyone in real time where they're moving.
Good music or anything?
Yeah, it's groovy, like sort of funky 70s porn music.
All right. You had me at 70s. I'm just writing down. I'm trying to be better at like getting these podcasts
Yeah, why don't you get better at
Keyed up.
podcasting already?
just like
Jeez.
getting them figured out of what we're doing in each episode so that I can like properly tag things so like people can like find things, you know. I feel like that's good.
Oh, you can
Although-
do chapters and stuff?
No.
Oh,
Although
okay.
interesting note. I saw a thing on Libsyn, which is our host. They had mentioned that I guess iTunes is like delisting podcasts and cracking down because I guess a lot of people were using since iTunes doesn't have a keyword service for tags for podcasts. People were making and it doesn't, and I guess whatever their search crawler doesn't look at podcast descriptions for keywords, where people would normally in the description put a bunch of keywords with commas.
Yeah.
People were putting lots of semicolons and commas in their podcast episode titles so that they could get that like search terms
Oh,
chunked
to like
off
game
into,
the search system.
correct. And it was interesting because like Libsyn was like, oh, here's a couple things like talking about like blogs about like getting your podcast discovered, you know, and like people getting advice and stuff, which is all bullshit. Like, don't bother like doing
Yeah.
stuff like that. Just make your show. People will come if they come. If they don't,
Well, and like
whatever.
you notice the
wasting
people that are trying to give out that advice are never professional podcasters.
exactly, and the people giving out that advice were like, this is contrary to what we told you before to make your podcast more discoverable. It's like, oh, so you like recommended people do this thing that could get their podcast delisted? So great. Yeah, so don't do that. So that's, I don't think we've ever done that. I mean, we may have some commas and titles, but that's probably very...
we should start doing that, though. Maybe we can get discovered.
We're not getting delisted.
We're gonna become podcast famous.
Yeah, getting listed is hard enough. So, man. So I'm watching. I found this anime that is was in the fan service section, TJ. And can you guess what anime this same company has also made? Why, it would be the anime Excel Saka, which I guess I would get because there's a lot of fan service in that show. But that show is actually legitimately very funny as well.
Yes, it is.
Excel Saga is one of my faves because it makes fun of like a lot of anime tropes in the show, because a lot of the show is like satire of anime tropes, like big monster, big robot animes, or like Sentai shows like Power Rangers and stuff. So yeah, it's real fun. But then there's a specific episode that is all about fan service because that's like a thing that anime does. So I don't know, but that show available on Funimation now.
Funimation fan service.
Funimation now. Watch it. They have an anime section devoted to fan service.
They should call it Fanimation.
Fanimation. Funimation. Fanime. So anyway. So the show is called Shimoneta, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes don't exist. Let me read you some of the delicious comments from this. Here's the comment number 1 from Weebs Are Trash, and it's a person whose avatar is a very bad Buzz Lightyear costume.
Okay.
He said, This is the reason God has left us. Here's the second comment from Weeaboo 2017. Feminism. Japanese under feminist rule.
Okay.
Here's another one from R3D Belmont. I love how this show has the guts to demonstrate that overzealous rules protecting us from sexual offense ends up having the inverse effect of benefiting women that abuse/falsely accuse men the most. This show also reminds me of Demolition Man for some weird reason. I wonder if the author was a fan.
I'm beginning to see what type of viewer this sort of thing.
Let me just give you, because these comments are great. Because this first episode is available for free if you just like log in and like sign up, and like the first 2 episodes are free and the rest require the premium subscription. And I guess you can watch a lot of Funimation stuff with ads for free on the website, so that's kind of nice too, you know, if you need to get your fix. But these comments are fucking great. This person says, wear headphones. My roommate thought I was watching porn.
Is it possible this person was just watching porn?
It's possible. Let's see here. This is why Japanese population numbers are dropping.
Okay.
Yep. Headphones! Exclamation point. Door locked or late hours when everyone is asleep. Do not skip any of those steps unless they already know you're a weird perv, then you're perfectly fine. Not happy. When I signed up to Funimation Now so I could watch the English dub of this, after seeing that it was an option, I load the video and it tells me I can't watch it in English, even though it's listed there. 11 out of 12 people found this helpful.
Well, son of a bitch.
Yeah, so. But it sounds like it's a pretty funny thing. I guess that looks like the concept of the anime is that like dirty language and things are banned in this society. So they have some fun with censoring of random things. So I don't know. Anyway, it sounds like the dubbed version seems to be region locked, which is a great thing. So if you're in like UK trying to watch Funimation Now, you can't get the dub because it's like American licensed. So it's like, what the fuck? Of course a woman would be leading that squad. They don't like the competition.
I don't know what to say here.
Yeah, it's like we're in Reddit.
Yeah, it's like a whole fan base of red pillars.
Wait, here we go. Quote, for your crimes of naughty talk, hard labor, end quote. With all safe outlets banned, I bet the rape rate is through the roof.
Jesus Christ.
As well as the use of euphemisms. Women falsely accusing men to make a quick buck. This is America in 10 years. Or maybe it's already this way. I don't go out much anymore.
I could tell.
Oh, wait, here we go. This is even better. More the plot thickens about the location availability of the English dub. So you got the English dub available in every country except England or America. So that makes sense to me. But in the two most populous English-speaking nations, you cannot watch the English dub. So anyway,
Is that just a matter of like putting a VPN on and saying like, no, I'm from Australia?
Probably.
Here is probably the moment of levity here from Tasmania. Awesomeness. Aside from the feminazis, not feminists. So he's making it.
Decidedly not right.
Well, he's making a distinction here.
Okay.
He's saying the feminazis aren't feminists.
I think
They're
that's
too far.
technically woke.
And hardcore conservatives and communism. The show is amazing. I love that guy stood up for false accusations and that pointy-faced girl stands up for our rights to be naughty.
Oh
There's
man,
a huge
I love
difference
when
between naughty and
pointy-faced
perverted.
girl says stuff. Like
Naughty
pointy-faced
is the
girl's
safe
my favorite
side.
character.
Perverted is gross and disturbing. So, and this person also playfully, what is it? Self-censored their text here to look worse than it actually was. So
There's
I
a
think
lot
that's
of
kind of the point.
there's a running theme of false rape accusations in this
You
comment
know,
section.
Yeah, I mean, it's the anime crowd,
Yeah.
Ladies
It makes
and
me wonder if
gentlemen.
that's actually a theme in the show or if people are just reading weird stuff into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be our future if we let PC culture dominate our lives. Don't let this happen. Also, there's no way the Japanese would ever allow this happen without the use of extreme violence.
The culture that censors genitals in porn.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see here. Any other good comments? Nope. Anyway.
All right,
So.
now next I'll be reading comments from Pornhub.
Hey man, that's the best stuff. You know what the best part about the comments from Pornhub are? Is like people that like sincerely feel like they're talking to someone that cannot hear them.
Well, people
Why?
get really like judgmental about penises on Pornhub.
Yeah. That dick is terrible. I'm a
soft
connoisseur.
looking, blah, blah, blah.
I could do a better job. Just put me in. Like, get the fuck out of here, weirdo. Oh, man. Anyway. So, Matt, you read the comments on Pornhub a lot?
No, but right now I'm looking at a BuzzFeed listicle of Pornhub comments.
Listicle.
Isn't, like, Kanye West, like, the Pornhub sponsor now? Or, like, spokesperson?
Of what?
The, like,
Pornhub
spokesperson
or
of...
BuzzFeed?
No, Pornhub. Obviously not BuzzFeed.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that in my frequent Pornhub visits.
Well, you're missing out, my friend. You gotta go to Pornhub more often. Get those comments.
I can.
All right, this is your homework, Matt.
Some
Matt.
hours I have to be like at work and stuff.
Matt, this is your homework. I need you to go on to Pornhub
Right now?
and get comments for the next episode. And
Let me just open it.
please do not do
incognito.
that. I mean, you're allowed to do that if you want to. I'm not going to stop you. You live your own life, but also if you
The problem is there's no good way to search for comments. Because when
Well,
you're
just
looking
find
at the
your
thumbnails, it
favorite-
doesn't list how many comments there are.
look, all you need to do is find a video with one minority actor or actress in it. Go to the
Nope.
comments. You're gonna find awful trash.
Okay, let's see. Let's pick,
I like how he's just immediately doing it. You know?
I'm just picking videos at random.
I know. But
No
it's like
comments.
crazy that comment sections
Most of them
exist
have no
in these.
comments because it's not normal to leave comments on.
Well, okay, first off, to
Pornhub.
leave comments on Pornhub, you'd have to do one thing that 99.9% of all users don't do is sign up and have an account.
Yeah.
So that you can be tracked.
And
'Cause the
isn't
first thing-
Pornhub like doesn't have. It's not the creators that are uploading shit to Pornhub, right? Isn't it all like,
sometimes.
pirated shit?
Oh no, they have like deals
Oh.
with all sorts of websites, and like Pornhub's
They have
kind of
verified
legit.
users too.
Yeah, they have like creators that like make money.
Yeah, I
off
know
of,
that they
like,
have their like creation. They're like whatever their version of the YouTube partners.
the YouTube create. What is it? The YouTube like creators
the
club
YouTube
or
heroes,
something? YouTube heroes.
Pornhub heroes. They would
I
totally.
never
do
heard back
something
about
like that,
YouTube
too.
heroes. I was told that I was allowed.
I don't think
to...
that is a thing that exists anymore. Also, I don't think it was a thing that ever existed except for like maybe in a board meeting.
Yeah, I was about to say they had that video where they like announced that it would exist.
And then everyone
And
was
then-
like, "No, that's bullshit.
That's a really dumb idea. And
Yeah,
then
it's
they
stupid.
were like,
You want us to do mod work for free?"
"Oh, you want us to moderate things for you instead of like, you know, you do your own job that you're like making millions off of advertising to do."
Yeah, fuck YouTube. Hey, thanks for hosting our podcast.
Yeah, thanks for hosting lots of episodes of the podcast.
Thank you,
You're
thank
very
you.
good.
Thank you, too.
Very nice of you to do that.
Thank YouTube.
Thank you. But also,
Fuck you.
why do you do all the dumb things that you do? Please answer me. Thank you. You can find us at borntheeighties.net.
And also, can you
underscore-
please stop being so helpful and spreading crazy right-wing conspiracies?
You know, they've done a good job of backing off on that. I gotta give them credit. They did ban a lot.
There's a really
But-
good Behind the Bastards series on Alex Jones. It's a 3-part series, and the first 2 are just so much horrible shit that when it gets to the 3rd one and it's about him being banned from every platform, it's also like tremendous release.
I would like to
Schadenfreude.
mention that one final comment of the boring world of where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist has an extremely strong cover image of nudity. Episode 10 is just called Masturbation Quest. So sign yourself up for that show.
Okay.
I'm actually interested
What's
in
the
watching
show
it though,
called?
if it's the show that the Excel Saga people made, because I really love that show.
What's the show
So-
called? I want to look it up.
SHIMONETA. If you look that up, and it's like
I just
got
want
a
to look
bunch
up
of
the
text.
Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Oh yeah! Wow, that's
I
a
told
cover
you.
image.
There's some very strategically placed items on that image
Is
to
that?
cover
I
up.
guess that's like paper
Yeah,
or
yeah.
shattered glass.
Yeah, something. She's shattering the glass ceiling. Yes,
Yeah.
very clearly. You know, I'm with her. Hashtag I'm with her. So anyway,
In a dystopian future, the Japanese
Can we-
government is cracking down on any perceived immoral activity.
yeah, they all wear like little neck things that like notify if it's like kind of like a 1984, but for like horniness.
They wear high-tech devices called peacemakers at all times to analyze every spoken word and hand motion. For
Yeah,
any
so they
action
use
that
like
could
code
break the law.
words for things. It actually is like a weird like sci-fi thing that exists. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm assuming it's not amazing because I've never heard of it until now.
No.
But it sounds like it is quite funny. So, good for them. But you know, watch away, my friends. Watch away. I like the Excel Saga, so and the other show, which is called "Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon," and Food Wars, same company. Those are all very well reviewed animes. So, I guess
I'm
Give
not
it a shot.
dubless.
what'd you say?
I'm not dubless.
You're not dubless.
You're Dublin?
Thank you. Yes, to finish our conversation, TJ is no longer is not dubless. There are still dubs available for TJ.
TJ.
Thank you. TJ, can you talk to us about the cell phone surgery that you were unable to talk about last week?
Holy fuck.
Because we were talking about cell phones before the show started, because my battery on my cell phone is just...
John's getting an iPhone.
I'm not getting an iPhone, because iPhones are for losers that don't want headphone jacks.
So, fixing an iPhone, or at least replacing a battery in an iPhone, is the most frustrating ordeal, and I did it 3 times in a day.
So I'd like to mention that I saw a video of a local phone and a technology recycling plant where they talk about how they recycle parts from like iPhones that people like, turn in stuff, just to get like the whatever the recycling fee at like Best Buy and stuff. And so they talked about how basically Apple products are the worst in terms of trying to get like the battery and stuff out of.
Yes.
Because it's like glued in.
Yes.
And B,
I will explain that.
Apple products are the most reason why that they've had 4 or 5 fires at their location. Because if you bend that battery, it'll explode.
You're not supposed to bend any batteries.
Well, you can't. How do you get it off the tape that it's glued to?
Yep.
And they actually talked
that too.
specifically about how Apple needs to be taken a bit to task for this, because what they are doing is basically making it hazardous for their phones ever to not exist. They're not thinking about disposal with these things. So you're going to have landfills full of these little time bombs, basically, that if the battery in these things corrode, they'll set on fire through chemical reaction. And so they can't safely be disposed of because they're doing this process of gluing or taping batteries to, like, things.
There will be a day where our society is run on burning iPhones.
So TJ attempted to do a thing that only professionals are supposed to do.
Yep. After watching kind of half
times.
a YouTube tutorial and some pictures, they sent me a toolkit and everything. So I'm going to hold up a visual aid, though it's not a phone. It'll help give us the idea. So here's another piece of obscure technology, PlayStation Vita.
Okay, so for audio-only listeners, the PlayStation Vita that TJ's holding up is roughly PlayStation Vita-sized.
Yep.
Go on.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. Anyway, so the first step in taking apart a goddamn iPhone is taking a suction cup to the front bottom of the iPhone and attempting to start to separate the screen from the casing.
Yes.
Because the screen is affixed to the casing with a full circle of this nasty glue adhesive. And you got to do that without trying to bend the screen.
Correct.
Having the screen go too far because of all the cords connected to the device itself, and without breaking your case. So the first time I did that, it took me an hour to actually get it enough to be able to get my little shiv wedge that my kit came with down here to start separating the whole thing. Once I was able to do that, get that wedge in, and I work on separating the screen from the casing, getting that adhesive out of the way. And then, well, I guess there were a couple screws I undid first, but whatever. Once I get inside, I have to disconnect the battery, which is kind of this... The way these plugs on these logic boards work is it's not like regular plugs on any sort of computer you would see, or even... It's closer to plugging into a motherboard if you didn't have an actual plug part. You're kind of just shoving it in until it fits.
Yeah, it's like old speaker wire. Where you just kind of jam it in and then, like...
Yes.
And you pull the little clamp to snap it down.
It's vaguely plug-shaped without plug structure. So you unplug the battery, because the battery has a cord that plugs into the logic board. You then take off this other part to unplug the screen, so you can set the screen aside.
Yeah.
So the battery is essentially glued, or what I would say, the strongest command strips I've ever felt in my life.
Huh.
You take a set of tweezers, preferably not the ones that came in my kit, because they don't want you to use pointy-ended tweezers in case you accidentally impact the battery. And you pull off this bottom part, and trying to pull it off command strip-like worked fine on my phone. My wife's and my mother-in-law's phone, I was not able to get the things off. They actually snapped and stuck underneath.
That is so insane. Like,
so I had to attempt to essentially use a piece of floss underneath the battery to work the battery off. I was bending the battery ever so slightly because it is not a hard case battery.
No,
it is a super floppy soft case battery.
Yep.
So it only got like a little bit on fire.
Only a little bit. I was nervous about that.
You know, the interesting thing about the on fire thing I'm talking about is, like, watch videos of iPhone, like, battery failure or, like, puncturing battery or bending battery. And it's just like, oh, it's just a little spark. And then, oh, it's a jet engine fire because it is an extremely volatile reaction that's happening.
Yep.
And we're carrying these around in our pockets. But, I mean, again, in their
somewhere
unpunctured
videos of cheap vapes exploding in people's pockets.
Yeah, that's the problem with the cheap vapes, is they're not built to...
Somewhere here in a little box, I have all 3 batteries that I need to dispose of properly because I do not want to throw them in the garbage.
House.
Yeah, but I'd rather not put them in the garbage to make it worse. No one's stepping on them.
Do you have like a concrete bunker you can put them in?
Ooh, that would be cool. Basically do a well without the water as a concrete thing.
Yeah.
Puncture it, throw it down the well, and make it on fireworks.
Yeah, and then you could like put a bucket down there whenever you needed to collect fire to keep warm.
Yeah.
That's true.
That would work perfectly. But yeah, it was the screws were the tiniest screws I've ever seen in my life. I think the smallest ones were like 2.1 millimeters long.
Jesus Christ.
These things were freaking
Did
tiny.
The repair kit have like special screwdrivers for them?
Yes, I had 3 special screwdrivers. Because on the bottom of the iPhone, those screws are not Phillips head. They are Pentawing. So they're a 5-pointed star. But the kit also came with replacement screws for the bottom of the phone so you can use a Phillips screwdriver.
Oh, okay.
It came with that.
Proprietary screw heads are just the most annoying thing in the world.
I know.
Yeah,
like,
ask Nintendo.
Yeah, no, I had I replaced a battery in an old Pokemon game cartridge a few years ago, and I had to special order like a screwdriver from Amazon.
I think I still have a tri-wing screwdriver, but that was when I repaired my Legend of Zelda Special Edition 3DS because neither trigger was working, so I ordered the parts, ordered the kit, and replaced them. Now I should, on that system, since my youngest daughter's been using it, the paint is coming off of the D-pad, and it hurts to use, and the rubber top of the circle pad came off, so I kind of want to replace both of those. I'm not afraid of it, apparently.
But the new batteries are installed and working?
Yes.
And
this podcast is being done on this phone right now.
Nice. And the battery life is like good?
Oh, it's better than it was recently. Not as good as when I first got this phone.
Yeah. But did they come with, the kit came with like a not new battery, but like how does that work?
Oh, it came with not a Apple made battery, but it was
right.
I did
a third party kit, right?
I did it through iFixit.com.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where I saw the YouTube tutorial, and then I ordered the kits through them.
Okay. And it worked.
It worked.
Well, I mean, that's good at least.
It even came with the replacement adhesive to put underneath the battery, and the replacement adhesive to hold the screen onto the casing. So it was a pain, but it took I think 5 hours out of my Friday.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's just like, is it worth the stress and time? I mean,
Yeah.
now
I
that
know
it's
what
Your
over.
phone, it would be for me. If
All right,
it's not
now that
under
I've done
warranty.
I would say that yes, I would do it for someone else, but I understand why people will charge $120 to do it.
Yeah. That's one of the nice things about the Samsung phones. Is they don't seem to have that problem. They don't have the difficulty. It's like literally it's the Apple ones are like designed in a way. And
Yeah.
then part of it isn't just that they're trying to make it hard for people to take apart their phones and stuff and figure things out. But it is a lot of we're trying to maximize the space saving in this. So everything
Yeah,
is
it's just repair isn't a priority for them when they're coming
or
up with the
disposal.
design.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Disposal's a big thing. Cuz they're talking about like they basically can't make money on iPhone recycling because it's too likely that it takes too long. Because the guy was talking about like how when he disassembles like the iPhones that they get into their component parts, they take so long that it doesn't make money because he can do like maybe 4 iPhones a day. You know, it's just like well, that's one person, like skilled worker. You know, like yeah.
Now, the first video I saw, there was a specialty gadget that it seemed like they were using that involved a double suction cup in order to pull it apart. And I only was given the single suction cup where I'm holding the bottom with my hands. Let alone I need 3 hands because I need a third hand to get the shiv in once the to get the wedge in once the one part of it is exposed.
Well, they had some specific like wedge like tool that he was using that I'm sure is like works really well at like pulling the thing. So
Hey, do you guys want to hear the best news ever? There's a subreddit for Pornhub comments.
Really?
Yeah.
Like really good ones?
Well, so let's just look at... I'm not going to dig into the all-time top because that's a gold mine I'll save for later. But this one is from user Scalia Butt.
Okay.
There's nothing hotter than watching 3 random girls laying on a bed in front of a giant window, that's all caps, pretending to play video games with the PS4 controllers off, mashing random buttons and no TV. So that really ruined the immersion for this person.
That reminds me. I forget which of the Charlie's Angels movies this was in. If it was the first or the sequel. But there's one scene where I believe it was I want to say it was Drew Barrymore's character ends up, I don't know if she like crashes into someone's window and she's basically not wearing any clothing or something along those lines. And there are 2 boys playing a PlayStation. They're playing Final Fantasy VIII, but they're both holding controllers, and that's a 1-player game.
Yeah.
Well, that could very well be. No, you're totally helping if you grab the second controller.
It's not Drew Barrymore. Who's the other one? Who else was it? Freaking Charlie's Angel.
Lucy Liu.
What was the other one?
Was Cameron Diaz in it?
Cameron Diaz.
I think Cameron Diaz was the not wearing clothes person in that scene.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Let's just sit for a second and think about that. I keep seeing the same goofy-ass dude, and I just sit here and wonder how he gets more pussy than me. I mean, who can possibly resist the taste of SpongeBob-themed Kraft macaroni? Yeah, nice. Sex is cool, but have you ever tried washing your dishes as soon as you're done using them so they don't pile up?
I love the people that are judgy about the backgrounds. You know, one of my favorite like genres of like videos though is on like I don't remember what site this was on, but they had like pets interrupting porn. It'll be like people like doing videos and like a cat walking in front of the camera. Or like a dog like knocking over something in the background.
Yeah.
What?
Well, that happens a lot with like I mean, I assume an older boy told me that it probably happens a lot with the solo cam stuff because it's just somebody in their home and their pet's like, what are we doing? Let me come hang out with you.
God, you know what's really stupid about my life in watching stuff and like this whole thing is that like Shimoneta show I was talking about, it's on Hulu, so why even bother, you know? It's just crazy because Hulu has so much shit on it in terms of anime.
I found
I already can watch it, although it's not the dub, it's the sub.
I found a Reddit post of a compilation video of animals interrupting porn.
There you go. So there's a more clean version. Anyway.
So John, what's your secret prize? Because
what do you mean secret prize?
Your secret
homework thing?
surprise homework.
Surprise
staring
secret
me in the
homework.
face every time I open the goddamn doc.
All right, so
Which
I'm
I
glad
do
you didn't.
very frequently, well before the show starts, so that I
Okay.
can prepare and be a good podcaster.
I'm gonna click a thing here. I'm not gonna go again. Not gonna lead with the headline because it ruins the joke or ruins the story. So let's get this. All right, let's talk about this. Andy Knox, a student at Da Vinci Charter Academy in California, submitted for your approval, told KRCA-TV how she came across the item we're talking about in question.
Ooh,
2 weeks ago, I was just about to go to my 6th period class, environmental science, and a girl who was also in the class stopped me and asked me if I wanted a cookie. I knew her, so I figured it's a cookie. Why not? Knox went on to eat the cookie. I took a bite of it.
Recuse myself because I know this story.
And she told me, there's a special ingredient in the cookie, ... I thought she had put drugs in it or something. So I asked her, like, is this a weed cookie or something? And she said no.
Maybe I
She
don't
said
know
it
this
was-
story.
I think
She
I remember the
said
story.
It was
Her love juices?
her grandpa's ashes.
Oh, no!
that one.
That's not
And-
what I was thinking at all!
And then she
I
kind
wrote
of
that one down.
laughed, and I was kind of horrified. Knox said that it wasn't even the first time the student had offered him her grandpa's ashes.
You
Davis Police
eat my
Lieutenant
grandpa.
TJ fucking exploded because of this story. He's
This
offline
story
now.
killed TJ. Now we're
Um,
going to have to convince strangers to eat his ashes.
Yes. That's exactly where this goes. Davis Police Lieutenant Paul Doroshov told the LA Times that 2 students were involved in the cookie rites. The remains belong to a man who was grandfather of only one of the girls. Police have opened a case, though they aren't sure if there are any applicable charges to press. Because the ashes weren't toxic, and no one became sick as a result of eating the possibly haunted
I
snacks.
guess, but
Dorsov said that at least 9 of the girls' peers were given the baked goods, but not all of them knew what they were getting into. Some knew and were unfazed. Some students knew beforehand and still consumed the cookies. That's fucking metal!
yeah, let me snort that shit. Oh,
This is great, though, the way that the LA Times describes this. Asked if the allegations about this seems credible, Police Lieutenant Paul Doroshov gave a long sigh, ... Yeah. Which is amazing. Yeah. Knox explained how the cookie tasted, because he had one. The taste itself wasn't really different. But if you ever ate sand as a kid, you kind of feel it crunching in between your teeth. Was a little bit like that. So here's the advice. If you're going to cook your grandfather's ashes into cookies and serve them, make sure you grind up the ashes into an even finer powder. Because when they get you those ashes, they don't grind those up. Like, that's just kind of straight ashes. So you're going to have some bad mouthfeel on the cookies.
yeah, you're going to have some grit.
Yeah, you're going to have some grit in
They
there. You're
filter
gonna want...
out the unburned bone bits that
Mm-hmm.
invariably occur, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's that's my advice.
So the story that I thought you were gonna tell was about a young lady who was in the running for prom queen. I don't remember where it happened, but she handed out weed cookies to secure votes, which really sounds fine.
Yeah,
it sounds way better than this.
Yeah, but like that's like a real, like, that's the funny thing is that like the weed cookie thing sounds way more like innocuous or like stupid, but but is way more illegal and will get the person in way more trouble than apparently ash remains cookies, human remains cookies.
Yeah, we forgot to put a law against unintentional cannibalism.
You know, they're kind of like, this one's on us. You know, when we came up with the laws of society, you know, this was a loophole I think we never considered could happen. So,
look, we made it illegal to spank a horse in public, but you know, we just missed this one.
Yeah. So our bad, you know. Get a beer on us.
But how is, I don't know. I don't see how there couldn't be a law against feeding somebody human without their knowledge.
Yeah.
This is America. What happens is we do something stupid, then we make the law.
We already had
do
Dahmer
something stupider.
like decades ago.
Geen did the eating. Dahmer just wanted to put battery acid in people's brains to make them sex slaves. That's a whole different thing.
Well, he may have done some feeding. Geen didn't feed anything to his neighbors.
Yeah.
But
true.
Yeah, he just kind of fed himself.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Man, Wisconsin is fucked up.
Yeah.
So there's a series on Netflix called Dark Tourist by the guy who did the Tickled documentary.
Okay. Yeah, I remember we talked about this in a previous episode too.
Yeah. And
competitive tickling contests or whatever.
So one of the each episode they go to like a different region of the world. One of the episodes is America, and they stop in the Milwaukee area for a Jeffrey Dahmer tour, which is apparently a thing that's still going on to this day.
Yeah. Like they still get Dahmer tourism.
Yeah.
Dahmer
and then they were
tourism.
like, this tour is bullshit, so they left and they went and instead found Dahmer's defense attorney and interviewed her, and she had like recorded interviews with him, and it was some fucked up shit.
Oh, of course. So great. Good.
Don't eat people is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I mean, they didn't eat people. They ate, you know, ashes.
But it was a person. I mean, I guess you can't get Kuro. What, Kuru?
Yeah.
The brain one.
Yep. Well, yeah, because it's like completely annihilated, like powder, you know, like, and the ashes aren't just brain material. So
no, but if you want to eat some cow brain, like that,
yeah,
if you have an opportunity for that, that's
make sure it's cooked. I wouldn't eat raw cow brain, but even cooked, you could get in trouble, because I can segue on to another story I have.
John's Pry-On Corner.
John's Pry-On Corner. So this was a story from Gizmodo from earlier in the week.
Yes, science!
A man's love of squirrel meat might have given him a horrifying fatal brain disease. A Rochester, New York resident might have caught one of the most frightening brain diseases in one of the most strangest ways possible. Eating squirrel meat contaminated with these zombie-like proteins.
Jesus Christ, there's prions in the squirrels now?
Yeah. So this was like a case that was highlighted by the American Infectious Disease Society of America. This case was one of several detailed by doctors from the Rochester Regional Health, a major hospital network in the city. According to the report, the 61-year-old man had been admitted to a hospital at Rochester Regional with cognitive impairment, schizophrenia, and psychosis in 2015. He was also unable to walk under his own power, but there was nothing to be done. 5 months after his symptoms began, he died. Judging by his brain scans and other tests, the man had likely come down with a variant Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease, CJD, a form of rare and universally fatal neurodegenerative ailment. Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease is one of several diseases caused by a protein known as a prion. We've talked about prions before. And this is like one of those things that keeps you up at night.
Aurora book.
Yeah. So this is like the kind of stuff that kept little John up at night and scared. Like, don't tell me horror stories about fake monsters and ghosts and shit.
I didn't know you said Little John. I thought you said Lil John.
No, I said Little John. I was talking about my penis, which is what I call Little John. So what keeps him up at night is horror story. No, I'm kidding. No, when I was a small child,
brain prions keep him up.
People would tell ghost stories and stuff, and then the real scary stories would be like,
John is so hard.
I remember hearing this in I remember in specifically a summer camp where people told ghost stories, and our camp counselor, in our tent, said a bunch of really scary stories. But his stories were all about how kids, real sounding stories about how this kid was grabbed a light switch, but it was exposed slightly, and because he was wearing braces it made his face explode. All this really fucking terrifying shit if you're a little kid, because it's not ghost stories. It's just oh hey, you could just be murdered by doing mundane things, or you could be killed by things. So prions are oh hey, something you eat might just kill you, with this horrifying brain disease. So prion diseases are basically zombie stuff too, because you're talking about guy who has cognitive impairment, schizophrenia, psychosis. Maybe he was mumbling, stumbling around, trying to attack people. This is the
but
real
it's
zombie.
Bizarro
virus.
Zombie, where you
also,
have
this
to
is
bite their brain to get it.
Yeah, it's true actually. But the interesting thing is this is actually the Halloween episode of Born in the 80s. Ooh. Because this will probably be coming out right around Halloween. So
you thought it was scary when we went to that old house.
Yeah, so let's talk about when we met that guy who really didn't like Nancy Pelosi.
I don't remember him going off a political rant.
Oh, I do. I remember that comment because it was just really out. It was but I remember that comment because it was just really kind of unprompted and kind of out of nowhere, and then we didn't really respond, so he stopped talking about that kind of thing. He was oh, maybe these people aren't going to agree with me with my weird old man thoughts about women in
Obama
politics.
years, so we were all just I don't know, things seem to be going fine.
Yeah, we were just I don't know, I don't really pay attention to that, which is kind of true about Pelosi. I don't really, because things weren't a fucking trash fire, so I didn't really,
It wasn't a fucking reality show.
Yeah.
With one of these every 5 minutes.
This just in: the president has pooped on camera.
I've decided
nobody cares
to announce a pardon of next time on American President.
Look, long story short, he pardons every person who's white that's murdered someone. It's pretty much the worst thing you can imagine. Okay.
Mostly he just pardons people who have abused their office.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Setting up a little precedent. So anyway, according to this report, this guy who had I guess what they figured is a Creutzfeldt-Jakob variant, which is a disease that is caused by the protein, as we mentioned before in previous episodes, prions. And prions exist naturally in the brain. And they're generally harmless to us. But what happens is these proteins could start to fold, like folding at home, protein folding, in ways that they shouldn't be. And what happens is they kind of force other nearby prions to misfold.
Yeah.
basically causing like an army of malformed prion, like proteins in your brain that basically just makes your. It's basically like cancer, where you have one cell misfunctioning.
Well, even that,
and spreading
it's
to other
like-
cells.
It's crazier than that, right?
Oh, it
Because
is
cancer,
because
you
these
can
aren't
kill the
these aren't
cells.
replicating. These are two cells that aren't connected. Just
With
passing
bacteria, it's a
information.
living thing that you can kill.
Yes.
With a virus, it's an unliving thing, but it's a little bit more like you can understand it. It's like it acts more like a living thing.
Correct.
Prion
Well, and
is just
viruses
like a
aren't.
protein molecule.
Yeah, viruses aren't typically strong enough to kill you because they just can't do the damage bacteria can do. So as long as you
It's
like
just
with a
a
flu
fucking
virus,
molecule that's not
Yeah.
shaped right.
yeah,
And then everything around it's like, oh, I guess I shaped.
I
Like
guess
that
I
now?
got to shape that
do
way
that
because
one?
that's the way it's going. Oh,
And that's
then
why
your whole
there's like
brain.
nothing you can do to. I mean, aside from if you were, I guess, theoretically able to excise that whole area before
Correct.
it spread.
Yeah, but the problem is
There's
this is a
nothing
thing.
you can do.
But the problem is that this is a thing that you can't really fix because by the time you have symptoms being shown, it's already too late because it's already spread. Because the symptoms at the start would be so minor. You know what I mean? They'd just be as simple as, oh man, I'm feel a little clumsy walking, or like I have a little vocal impairment right now, or just something that was really minor that could be literally anything. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things that when you get older and you start having really weird problems with your health that were never things you had to deal with when you're younger, and you start thinking,
It's
am I
just like
dying?
I slept a weird way, and now my back
Yeah.
hurts for 2.5 years.
Yeah. Well, like I have weird vertigo sometimes, and they had no reason to figure it out. Like they're just like, you probably just have a weird inner ear infection that's messing up your balance, and it just goes away after like a week. So
Do you think it might be
you're
like the
fine.
fact that you're a detective that's in love with like maybe a young starlet?
Yes, I got vertigo. God, vertigo's weird. It's not fun. You feel all swimmy when you're walking around. Like when when you're drunk and you turn your head and like the room doesn't turn at the same speed as your head
Yeah.
turning, and you're just like, that's kind of what I get sometimes. And then it'll
Man,
just
that
go
sounds
away.
Awful.
And it'll just go away after like a couple weeks. Yeah. And I have to end up just like shaking my head a lot just to like try and get my like straight on balance. Yeah, it's weird. And I went to the doctor and they're like, I don't know, you're fine. It's just sometimes they're just like, that's just a thing that happens because
So it's like
bodies
an
are
inner ear
weird.
thing?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, they were just like, it's probably an inner ear infection and it'll just go away on its own. If it gets worse, come in. And it just got better after a couple weeks.
Are you ready for Matt's Science Corner?
Sure. Wait. We got to talk a little bit more about the variant crystal, Jacob. Because we had... this originally was first identified in 1996. So this is something we've only recently found out about.
Well, isn't
and this,
that the one that's similar to chronic wasting disease?
Yes, exactly. And so this was a prion infected... And so this one's even more fucked up. Because these were UK residents began dying from CJD. And CJD is a thing that we know can happen in older people just randomly. You just have a prion that fucks up in your brain. And so, like, why are all these super young people dying of this prion disease?
They're
It's
eating
because
old people.
it's because they ate prion-infected beef from cows.
Oh, so that's mad cow too.
Yes, and the cows had likely caught it from eating animal feed made from the infected brain matter of other sheep, or other cows, or possibly sheep. Because
Yeah.
what do they feed
So because-
cows? Garbage.
Because people were like enforcing cow cannibalism. This happened.
Yes, and they also have stopped doing that because of this since then.
It's almost like this is nature's like
hey, stop
response to
fucking...
hey, don't eat things
Yeah.
that are your own species.
Mm-hmm. And so they're thinking that, I guess, this squirrel that he or squirrels that he's been eating for years, because I guess what they found out
eating old people.
is that this guy who was known by his family to hunt squirrels a lot. It was kind of a thing he did, and so they're thinking that You know, he possibly ate squirrel meat from a squirrel that had a prion disease.
Yeah, and the squirrel
had
could have
eaten-
easily gotten it by like stealing a cow's feed or something.
Well, not even that. I mean, it could have just been a naturally occurring
Just
prion disease that happened in a squirrel, and then he ended up eating like a bit of a dead squirrel because it was winter and there was no other food, so he just kind of had to do it to survive. You know, I mean, it could be literally anything. The key is don't eat weird meats, but also the chance of this happening to you is like winning the lottery. So,
And also, nature is just really trying to kill you.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Nature wants you dead. There's no way around that. Nature wants you dead.
So here's Matt's Science Corner, and this just reminded
Thank
me
you.
of it because it's just my favorite weird brain story. So stop me if you've heard a story like this before. A French man who was 44 years old, he was feeling some weakness in his left leg. So he went to his doctor. And the doctor did brain scans on him to see if anything was neurologically wrong with him. Turns out he only had 10% of his brain, because the other 90% had been slowly destroyed over the course of 30 years by a buildup of fluid in his brain and a condition known as hydrocephalus. He had been diagnosed with it as an infant and treated with a stent, but it was removed when he was 14 years old, and since then the majority of his brain seems to have dissolved. This is a man who was living a normal life with 10% of a brain.
Holy crap.
So just imagine that you go to, like, hey, how are my scans looking? Well, you don't have a brain. And so this article, I guess link it in the doc. It shows his scan, and his skull is mostly empty space.
Well, hydrocephalus, so water, right?
Yeah.
Some sort of fluid.
But it doesn't show up on scans.
Yeah.
It's just basically body water that fills in the empty space.
Mm-hmm.
So, between this and the prion story, what we're trying to say is there could be fatal things happening in your brain at any moment, and you would have no way of knowing.
Yep.
Sleep tight.
Yep.
Yes, science!
Have a good time.
That's
Going
fine.
to
That's
sleep.
the spookiest Halloween story.
Because
Let's
that
fuck
stuff-
your shit up by making it so you can't sleep.
So, though some of that can be caused by things that are uncontrollable by you,
Yes.
it's better than things. I seem to always gravitate towards Louisiana. I don't know why. I'm always back in Louisiana. I don't know if Matt's science story was his weird story, but I'm just gonna hop into mine.
No,
'Cause why not?
no, I've got another story.
You got another story. That's fine.
But later.
So, deputies say a Louisiana man who called 911 to report an axe attack was found uninjured and in
What?
possession. Okay, so a man called 911 to report an axe attack, but he was found uninjured and in possession of meth that he says was planted by a ghost.
Seems legit.
Yep. News outlets report that this person is charged. I won't give names because I don't care, but is charged with giving a false police report and oh, come on, website decided to reload in the middle of all this.
I just want to mention before TJ continues, prions are the samurai neighbor of your brain.
Yes, they are,
That's an old reference.
and this is the samurai neighbor himself. So
There's no reason to ever worry about it because there's nothing you can do possibly to ever do anything, so there's no reason.
Unless if worrying saves you.
Which probably doesn't.
But it
'cause
might.
But there's no proof, so I mean,
But it
you can.
could.
Fair enough.
So this gentleman was charged with giving a false police report and possession of a controlled dangerous substance. The Wichita Parish Sheriff's deputies say this man called authorities this month to report he had been hit in the head with an axe. Responding deputies found an uninjured Ottenberry, well, I guess that's his name, whatever, cursing at people that are obviously not there.
Those were the ghosts. He had pierced the veil. Did the police even try taking meth to see if they could corroborate the story?
Quick, we need a meth psychic to hire to like investigate this.
This man then said intruders were inside his home, which prompted deputies to search the place and find a bag of meth. They also found meth on the man, who told them the drug was planted by a ghost or intruder. It's unclear if this man has a lawyer.
Well, you know.
I'm sure everything's going to turn out well for him.
Yeah. I think if we could blame ghosts on a lot of things, like... I wish I could do that. Like, if if I fart and it smells, I could be like, it's fucking ghostly vapor.
I mean, I'm blaming ghosts for Funimation leaving Crunchyroll.
I mean, that's true. They are to blame.
Ghosts hit Funimation with an axe.
Yeah.
And so here's my story. I'm really good at transitions.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a pretty decent transition.
It's also really good when you talk about the transition after it.
Yeah, well, that's the way to bring it up.
So, wildlife officials in Virginia removed a, quote, very rare Italian honeybee colony without a hive from the grounds of a church. Virginia Wildlife Management and Control said a man doing work outside the Victory Tabernacle Church of God discovered the colony swarming around their honeycombs, which were not inside a hive. The agency said it is very rare to find a bee colony in such a state. I've never seen anything like it, and I've been in this business for 39 years, Richard Perry of Virginia Wildlife Management and Control told the Charlotte Observer. To be completely honest, I have no answer for what caused it, since we've never encountered it before. The colony was relocated to a hive box, where officials said it will be monitored over the winter and eventually released back onto the church property.
Thank you for the surprise bee story.
And that was our Melissophilia moment.
Did you say that episode was the B plot for the episode? Yeah, they like story like episodes have like an A plot and a B plot.
Yeah.
You call that the B plot?
That was a really good joke.
Thank you.
Really proud.
Thank you. I mean, I try. And the trash so far and because I didn't bird a bit.
So I guess
TJ,
this was a honeycomb, and there's like a video of it that I don't want to play because I feel like there will be sound. Oh, never mind.
Oh yeah, of course. There's always sound.
It's basically like the inside of a hive without the outside of a hive. It's dumb bees. It's really dumb bees that don't know how to hive.
Fucking stupid bees. Do you think they got prions?
Idiot, goddamn stupid Italian honeybees.
Yeah. Do you think they got like prions or something? Is that why they're like fucking
making their
messed
bee
up
meatballs?
and they can't figure out how to do their like life work the way that they're supposed to?
Now, the funny thing is now they're like in a hive box, and they're just gonna be like, what? Like, what are all these walls out here? I'm a freewheeling bee. I gotta live free.
You gotta be free.
Wheels, bee.
Is that good?
No, I gotta. Look, I gotta quit the podcast.
Yeah, we gotta.
Yep.
I gotta edit this part out. Like, I'm sorry.
You've murdered all of our listeners with that joke.
Yeah, well, you know, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to murder listeners and dead ass. All right.
And I'm all out of listeners.
And I'm all out of dead ass. So goodbye, listeners. Can TJ, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why does Windows 10 have to suck a big old D?
Well, technically it's testicles, so it'll suck a pair of bees.
Yeah, got it.
It's gonna have a scrotum in its mouth. So I'm going to not perjure myself, but I'm going to take myself down a peg or two in terms of
Can I just
whatever
say one thing real quick
Yes.
before you do your thing?
Yeah.
If Windows 10 could suck my balls, I'm just saying maybe that's a feature and not a bug.
TJ,
Okay.
why does Windows 10 need to suck your balls?
Okay, so in the past, in other Windows versions, I could set up my administrative user without having, like, you can have a Microsoft account and you could link it, but you didn't have to. And Windows 10, you didn't have to, but there's so many things that require you to log in with your Microsoft account. And right now, the Microsoft account that's set up as the administrator on my system
Okay.
is my daughter's account, so she was able to play Minecraft Windows 10 edition with other people in the house, and I can't take that off. I can't disable that account to put in my account as the primary, so I didn't have to deal with this anymore. And now it's making things like I can't use. I'm gonna hurt myself again because I'm using Microsoft Edge as my primary internet browser.
I'm going
Why?
to need you to leave the podcast.
Actually, I've heard Edge is like better.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, like it's speed wise.
But I can't use right now. I can't use the feature open a new in private window, which is the same thing as incognito mode in Chrome. I can't do that because my daughter's account is set up as a child account under my account in my Microsoft.
Here's the problem with Microsoft Edge. When you open up a new private window, it closes right before you finish. That's a really good joke about edging.
That's true, though.
And on that note, I'm going to announce publicly I need to leave the podcast.
And that's what we call. That's what we call it, you know.
So I guess what
Using-
you're trying to say is that your daughter is the captain now.
Yeah.
She owns. I
Yeah.
think she's the new head of family because she owns the
Yeah.
computer.
Oh, it's fine. She doesn't know the password. I do.
So what you're saying is that when you use Microsoft Edge, it should be described as you're edging.
Yes.
That's what people say when they're saying they're edging, is they're using Microsoft Edge.
Well, they want you to do it. They make the default search engine Bing.
Hey, man.
Oh yeah, I am trying to force myself to use Bing. Sometimes
Get
on
those
here.
Bing points, man.
Exactly, I am earning the points. I have enough for like a $5 Xbox Live card.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, it's free money just for doing Google or
What the hell
Bing
are
searches.
Bing
Sorry.
points?
Microsoft rewards points for
that's like
doing
a thing
Bing
you
searches and a
earn.
bunch of other things.
For Bing. So Bing it up. I said Bing it up.
Also, a lot of the searches don't conform to the DMCA Takedown Act. So
Oh yeah, because they don't like immediately disgive away, like ban out like image searches that.
I'm watching
Would
a
be
spider
what you'd
being
want.
alerted that a stink bug's caught in his web. He's gonna murder that fucker.
No, don't.
Ah! He's going for it. Oh, but
This is
the stink bug smells like coriander. Go.
this is.
Oh,
bad.
you dropped it, you dumb fucker. The spider hit him loose.
Matt, it's late. Play us off.
Ba 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 ba.
You'll get him next time, Spider.
That's true.
So, John,
Website. Oh, go ahead, John.
Where can people find you?
Well, I'm John_Danger on the Twitter.com, the website no one should go to.
Yeah, don't. It's bad. It's full of bad.
It's a really bad website.
Yeah.
So.
And you can find me at Matt Hag Music everywhere. Just stream my music.
Yeah.
You can find all of us at bornofthe80s.net, including the link to our Discord, including that link that we've taken 10 minutes of your podcasting
And that
years
link
time
one more
to
time
describe
is
to you.
T.
I'm at May of May 84 on Twitter, twitch.tv/May of May, and you can also find me on mastodon.cloud. That's at May of May at mastodon.cloud. Plus anywhere else on the internet.
So what?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know how to
What's
close the show anymore.
Mastodon?
It's like Twitter, but less garbage.
But
And
like
you can close it off from.
But it's like Twitter, but you don't know how anyone knows how to use it.
Exactly. They're toots, not tweets.
They're toots.
They're toots.
I'm gonna get a
Maybe it's dudes. Spanky will have to teach me because that's the only place he's on the internet other than Discord.
Okay.
And if
Spanky,
you
gotta
want to
teach
talk
me.
to Spanky, you could join our Discord at T.
Bye bye, everybody.